Here is the Galaxy S23 Ultra, and this is a 16-year-old Sony video camera. And today, I'm in Izmir putting them to the test. Can a modern flagship phone beat a 16-year-old proper camera? Well, we'll find out testing in the following categories: photo, video, zoom, audio, night shots, battery life, plus some bonus points. So stay till the end to see which is actually better. But also there's something that you'd never have expected in the very end. I let the S23 Ultra marinate for 2 years. It's running the latest One UI 7. I chose this phone not cause I couldn't buy the S25 Ultra, but because it's the last Samsung phone to have a 10x optical zoom that I can compare to the 10x optical zoom on my camera. So the photo category. I divided this in 4 parts: still subject, moving subject, close-ups, and challenging lighting. To keep the test fair, I let the S23 Ultra use its AI because it was designed to be able to. So here I shot photos of landscapes. As you can see, the S23's Ultra, when it's cropped in, you can really see the quality decrease quicker than the Sony, and it becomes something like a painting. It looks mushy and unclear. The texture of the building gets lost while the Handycam seems more realistic. This has been consistent through various photos, and here are some more. In the trees, the boats, the sea, the clouds, this pattern continues all the way. On the Handycam, I feel like the photo looks more natural, and the photo processing on the Samsung adds too much contrast and sharpening, which doesn't really go in line with my tastes. So I'd say that the S23 looks faker, and after asking a couple of more people, the point goes to the Sony. I shot some pictures of wind turbines, and honestly, both look pretty fine. With AI, they look blended and painted like the previous ones, and without AI, honestly, it looks trash. And comparing that to the Sony's, I again prefer the colors of it, and although the Sony zooms less times, it has higher quality consistently, and that means point to the Sony again. This is looking rough for the Samsung for now. Next is close-ups. The Samsung has this 12 megapixel ultra wide lens which lets me get really close to the subjects, like this shell here. But the Sony doesn't. So this has to go to the S23 Ultra, you'd think. Although there's still the fakery of over sharpening and over smoothing with fake depth of field blur, I'd be more confident publishing these photos of the S23 Ultra on Instagram. But these shots from the Sony are nonetheless good, and I believe that with a bit of skillful editing, they can get really, really good. But I'm just looking at the final output that the machine's giving to me. Now we have to test the HDR. Well, Samsung takes this one easily because it has better photo processing and AI and stuff like that, while the Sony is just pure camera and the skill of the user of the camera. So it cannot really analyze the lighting and the dark parts to produce a better output. The clock tower looks black, and check the details on the Samsung's photo compared to Sony. Sony's is black and Samsung does show these etchings and the texture much better. And yeah, pretty neck and neck, and it's 2-2. Next is video. So Samsung has much better stabilization, and everything regarding the photos is still relevant in this category. I mean the graininess and stuff like that. Plus, it's higher resolution, which is a plus, 8K, although it's kind of useless right now. It is there if you want it. And I'll give the point to the S23 again. So, moving on to zoom. Man, this is where Sony beats Samsung in every aspect. This is where like the same quality over quantity shows itself. The 10x optical zoom shots on the Samsung look washed out and grainy like the previous ones, while the Sony keeps its initial quality of 1x shot up to 12x. The Samsung's 10x optical lens is not really good in any means. Like, I'd expect to have a better quality than this shot here, both in video and photo. Some of the shots are straight unusable. In some occasions, though, in some occasions. And I can't blame Samsung for this. Like, there are physical limitations on how much you can fit into a phone this thin. The Handycam is just like 20 centimeters of physical room for the lenses to go back and forth. But since we're comparing, Sony is much better. You can look at the tower and it just looks better. So do the flowers. The zoom is smoother also. Like you can see the jittery lens switches and how the phone has difficulty to focus. Both have stabilization, but Samsung has just better stabilization. So point to the Samsung. It also has extra stabilization like the action mode equivalents on the iPhones. So now the audio, and I'll let you listen to these two samples. This is the audio from the Sony, and this is from the Samsung. So both can record stereo audio, and the quality is pretty neat, I guess, on both. So I'd go with a draw. And right now we are 4-5 for Samsung. Now night shots. This was a confusing subject to compare, as I had to divide it into two. So normal shooting versus special modes. Without doing anything, there is barely anything visible on the footage from the Sony. While the Samsung, it is kinda grainy, but still good. It is usable. Regarding the photos, it's the same story too, I tell it. But when you activate night mode on the Samsung and night mode on the Sony, everything flips the other way. As you hit this button, the Sony shoots out certain wavelengths of light that we can't see, but the camera can. So it produces this green output that is really high quality, but the colors don't match. But I prefer to have this over something so grainy like on the Samsung. So I'd say it's a draw. In the first scenario, Samsung's better. On the second scenario, Sony is better. And also, if you know how to use your camera, you can also shoot pictures of the moon like this. Also, by New Year, I'm aiming to hit 1000 subscribers, so if you like what I'm doing, please help me out. Thank you very much. Moving on to the battery life. It highly depends on how you use your devices, but they last pretty similarly, I'd say. Despite 16 years, the battery is still in good condition and hasn't swollen or anything. The thing is that with the Sony, you can swap the battery instantly when it runs out. So I say it's easy point to the Sony. So without the bonus points, we are 6-6, so it's a draw. Now let's hear what they have to offer. So Sony, starting with the Sony, it has physical buttons and a zoom slider which is really easy to use. It has also a touch screen which can be turned around. The manual mode is complicated at first, but you can get astonishing photos if you know how to use it, like the one of the moon I showed earlier. You can attach an extra flash on the top. You can add an extra SD card expansion. It has a much stronger built-in flash. There are no AI shenanigans, it's just pure skill. You can mount it to a tripod without any extra accessories. So total points of 7. Now time for the Samsung. There are more technical choices like the amount of frames per second, the resolution such as 200 megapixels and 8K. You can do slow motion up to 960 frames. You can use your S Pen as a shutter. It is water resistant, so you can shoot videos like this. And it's also a phone, so you can use it as a phone. It has various modes for different scenarios, although most are useless, like the food mode or whatever. And the manual mode is just equivalent to the one of the Sony, so no big deal. But you can do things like this. Start trail on hyperlapse videos which are 300 times faster, which is kind of neat. So total points, again 7. So what this means is a draw. But if you want consistency and are not extremely a skillful person at photography and casually take photos, the Samsung is a better overall, with options that make your life easier, and the quality drawbacks won't be such a big deal when all you do is just post on Instagram. But if you are into photography and videography and you know that you're and you know what you're doing, the Sony will produce better outputs, and what you have shot will be truly yours without any AI involvement. The surprise I mentioned at the start of the video, is that most of the footage of this video shot on an iPhone 15 Pro Max. And I'll leave you with this thought. Cheers.